Welcome back. Now, one thing I can say is that it is my honor to be able to introduce this couple this morning. The one and only Nneka and Isaac Moses are Nigerian presenters, fashion designers, and co-founders, managing directors for the African cultural show GOTV Africa. The power couple have become synonymous to the arts and culture and have had their hands in so many things. They are multiple award-winning ambassadors of tourism. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so very much.
Now, there's so many places to start from with this conversation, but first of all, you've been a couple and you've been on TV for so many years. Absolutely. I know you probably get this question all the time. How have you been able to do it for so long? Talk to us. Give us the secret.
I think she has the secret formula. She can tell you that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's a secret because it's been out there that if you receive what you give if you're lucky, right? So I give him a lot of respect. I love him.
Oh,
yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? They're just extremely...
So, I mean, for instance, he came up with this GOTV Africa thing, and I jumped right into it because I just want to support his vision, whatever it is he wants to do. Yeah. I give it my best. But the good thing is that what he wanted to do is actually what interests me too, so it works.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just lucky that like your lady used to say, my better half. She kind of, I mean, she's in line with what I want to do. She loves what I do, and she supports me. And so together we became a very strong, formidable team. Yeah. You know, so.
I love that word team.
Yes.
Because it definitely had to involve a lot of teamwork to push forward Nigeria in the first instance as a tourism hub. In 1999, I don't think many people were thinking of Nigeria in that light at all. Not many. And the risk that must have been involved to put that on screen and have the hope and faith that it would be sustainable over the years. You need to let us into that.
Well,
go ahead.
Okay, well, in 1999, we're talking about more than 2 decades ago, people weren't considering Nigeria, for tourism, and our government were not looking that way. We have oil, remember? True. And even now, they're still not paying enough attention to tourism. And till today, I can tell you confidently, a lot of tourists come into Nigeria, but not for the pleasure kind of tourism that a lot of us go out for. Religious tourism, business tourism, and all the works. But people see Nigeria or Nigerians as the people who come to them.
Wow.
You know, rather than the people they go to.
Okay.
So Ghanaians will wait for us to come. The Ivorians, the South Africans, you know, we go. We do the going because we have the N&M. Okay. We have the numbers and we have the money, so we go out. Okay.
Aside that, Nigerians they're daring. So they're bold, and you could say that they have the money, but other countries, you know, within the continent, they're a bit skeptical about visiting Nigeria as a pleasure hub. Okay. They come to Nigeria for business. True. And then we decide to look, let's showcase some of the potentials, the tourism, the culture, you know, of Nigerians, to show them out there, and they would have enough reason to visit. Knowing that, look, some of these things they have there, we also have them here, and even more. Yes. So when we project these things positively, other people begin to look at Nigeria as a place they can visit. However, tourism is not for... You have to be you have to have disposable income to really indulge in, because you have most places, the hotels are luxury hotels. True. You know, at least they meet 3-star, 2-star, you know. But if you really want to have a good time, you need to stay in a place you consider safe, you know, where you can stay and not feel afraid.
Insecure.
Not feel insecure.
Yes.
You know, so,
Yes, I'm still talking tourism and Nigeria.
Yeah.
One thing we realized is that Nigerians would jump to Dubai, jump to
Yes.
Yeah.
But the good thing about COVID that I like very much is that it made us look inwards. And talking about this year's World Tourism Day theme, it's rethinking tourism.
Exactly.
So we decided to rethink the way things are done. And we said to ourselves, why do we sit down and let other regions in Africa and let Dubai or wherever come to market themselves to us, and we start running there.
Even South Africa comes here to market themselves. Everybody comes here.
Kenya, all of them, they come here to market. Now, we said to ourselves, why don't we consolidate on the fact that within ECOWAS region, within the West African region, you don't have to get a visa to go.
Exactly.
But then I tell you the big problem is this, it's cheaper to go to Dubai than to go to the Gambia.
Aha.
It is 3 times the price you would pay to go to America.
Wow.
If you wanted to go to Cape Verde.
Wow.
Within the West.
Wow.
And Cape Verde is in West Africa.
Yeah.
And we don't need visas to go to these places. And they are next door. It's just like 3 hours flight.
That's right.
And it's more expensive, 3+. It's more expensive to go there than to go on a long haul of 11 hours.
So now
So we decided to...
Okay. I was going to say
set up a project with our partners. It's not really a GOTV Africa project. It's actually, okay, we conceptualized it.
Yes.
And we are the conveners. But then we have other partners that have come in to make this possible. And these are key people in tourism space across within our...
The tourism spectrum,
space.
yes.
Exactly. So we have
I was going to say that as ambassadors of tourism, you've probably had the opportunity to visit very interesting, elaborate, historically diverse countries.
That's right.
And in comparison, the history, the culture of Nigeria, of West Africa, let's say West Africa now,
Okay.
which do you think is richer? That of Africa? I'm trying to be a little balanced here, or that of the Western world. Talk to us about that.
Hey.
There's no comparison. Richer, West Africa, Africa has it. I mean, we have the culture. We have the culture.
Please.
Okay.
Wait.
Right? And,
Go ahead.
and see, we also have heritage tourism. It's big in Africa. You see, it's there. People come, it's there. It's not movable. They come here to experience it, right? And more people would come and go, and it's still there. But the Western world, all they have there, if you ask me, is the technology, the skyscrapers.
Okay.
Right? And, I mean...
Maybe huge malls, let's say. Yes.
You know, the gigantic shopping malls.
But I'd like to take you back ages before now.
Okay.
Even the Western world have acknowledged the fact that civilization started in Africa.
Yes.
Are you talking about Egypt? Are you going to go to the Songhai Empire of before? Are you? If you're talking about museums, things when you excavate, what you see buried in Africa is more than what you see all over the whole world. Now, but don't forget that you see the map of Africa. Forget that it is downsized.
Yes.
On
the map.
Yes.
But the truth is, Africa can contain the US, China, Europe.
Yes.
Within it, our landmass, you can Google it, is much, much bigger than
is portrayed on the map.
Yes. And also, our culture, our heritage, the richness of Africa is much more. That's why everybody is scrambling for Africa.
and I tell you what, people come here from the West into Africa to enjoy it. And they don't even, look, because they have the funds, they change their dollars and they can come in here and have a lot of fun. But the thing is, they still portray Africa in the negative.
Because they don't want others to come in. The Black Americans, when we took GOTV Africa to a university, to some universities in the US, now they were like, what? We showed them some festivals from Nigeria and from other African countries. And, they're like, what? Is this Africa? No, some of them said this is Caribbean. When they saw Calabar Carnival,
yes.
they said, no, that's not Africa. That should be Brazil or something. I said, this is Nigeria. And right there on the spot at that university, we got about 20 people registered to come to Calabar Carnival with us that year.
I was going to talk about that because, you eventually started the program.
Yes.
The program portrays the travels, the experiences.
The culture.
And as much as possible, you had to keep it sustainable.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish we had time to continue with this aspect, but I really want to find out a little bit more about the West African package that's happening soon, and we're going to be checking out your social media to check those handles now. But I know that there's some very interesting food standing by in the kitchen for us.
Wow.
As soon as they're ready to receive us, they'll call us to go over.
Are you saying we're having breakfast?
Yes, of course you are.
Is it African breakfast?
Well, the chef will tell us.
Moi moi.
The chef will tell us.
But I tell you what, West Africa, what we're doing now is part of the tourism recovery process. We want to make sure that traveling within the West Africa and doing business, investment and trade within the region is feasible, is easy. We want them to reduce the barriers. There's too many barriers within West Africa. And that's why people within the West African sub-region hardly do business with each other. So we want to at least open it up for trade, for business, we need tourism.
Yes.
All the governments across the region, we need ECOWAS, all of them to come together and hear the voices of stakeholders in tourism industry.
Exactly.
Speaking of voices, we've been hearing your voices, we've been seeing you on screen for many, many years, and this is why.
It's very dynamic. Perhaps that's why I'm a culture enthusiast.
Absolutely you are. You know, some cultures, especially in Africa, always find reasons to celebrate. They celebrate when they give birth to a child. They celebrate the coming of age.
They celebrate marriage. Believe it or not, they celebrate death even more.
Yeah, but that's when it's the death of an elderly person.
Correct. This culture is very common in Ghana and southern part of Nigeria.
Yeah, that reminds me, why are burials always such an elaborate affair, in the East?
All these and more you'll find out on this episode of GOTV Africa.
Absolutely. Come with us to Anambra State.